and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today, Quincy Veterans Services Director Christine Cugini is joining us. We'll chat about this coming Saturday's Wreaths Across America event. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, still have some sunshine out there. It's 46 degrees right now, but the clouds will increase quickly. This afternoon, rain will be arriving by around 4 o'clock or so and continue into the evening hours, with temperatures today into the mid-40s and dropping off into the upper 30s this evening. Rain should come to an end overnight. Kind of a gray day tomorrow. It'll stay dry. Maybe some showers in the afternoon with a high tomorrow around 39. The rain increases tomorrow night and then really ramps up here on Wednesday. It looks like a very windy, wet, but warm day on Wednesday. Look at the temperatures into the low 60s. Can't even rule out the possibility of a thunderstorm on Wednesday afternoon. And things will clear out Wednesday night, leading to a partly cloudy, cooler day Thursday. Highs Thursday only in the low 40s. Again, a little bit of sunshine, 46 in Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, Quincy City Council tonight holding a public hearing regarding the plans to extend the lease that Quarry Hills Associates has with the city to run the Granite Links Golf Course by 50 years. Mayoral spokesman Chris Walker says this proposal will benefit both Quarry Hills and the community.
The carve-out that Kevin talked about the hotel, the sale piece, that was the mayor's idea. That's a benefit to the city. Quarry Hills didn't care about that. We added that because we felt, given an opportunity, now that's got to go through its own separate process. This is within the lease itself. It doesn't give anyone any permission to build a hotel, do any of this stuff. There still has to be a separate process to go through when they do, if they do exercise the option to buy, there's a whole separate process that goes along with that. But we carved that out because now we have added benefit of the property tax from the property that will be sold, plus the hotel motel room tax. Several $100,000 a year that is added to the potential revenue that the city can make from this. So our position is, and I know that there's a difference of opinion, and that's fine, but our position, and I think the public in general would largely agree, that this is a remarkable place that does not exist, could not have happened in a lot of other places. The stars aligned, made it work. Why would we not give them the opportunity to continue this for the additional 50 years that will benefit the entire community going forward?
Quarry Hill says it needs that lease extension to secure financing for that 110-room hotel, a permanent 2-story structure to replace their tent, a refresh of the tavern restaurant, and expanded parking. Some residents have raised questions about the financial arrangement with the city, the length and the timing of the lease extension, and the maintenance and access to public walking trails and playing fields. Tonight's meeting will be held at 6:30 at City Hall. The Quincy Planning Board is reviewing a proposal for a new 8-story, 139-unit apartment building for North Quincy. Tremont Quincy LLC proposing that new building for Hancock Street, where an electrical supply shop and a pizza restaurant were located. Attorney David Mahoney says this proposal is half the size of an earlier plan that was approved in 2021.
This project may look a little familiar to you because, to refresh your memory, we were back in here with a larger project back in August of 21, a much larger project. That project didn't get built for a variety of reasons. We're coming out of COVID, interest rates were high, commodity prices were high, particularly lumber, so that it didn't get built. I think you'll find this is a worthy successor to that project.
Planning board members did agree this new proposal is much more appealing for the neighborhood. The developer also said they addressed concerns about drainage and flooding that were brought up at a prior meeting. Zoning board has already approved this project. The planning board will review it again on January 15th. NeighborWorks Housing Solutions here in Quincy is proposing a new 4-story, 24-unit apartment building for low-income residents in South Quincy. NeighborWorks CEO Rob Corley told the planning board recently they'd like to demolish 2 single-family homes and a 3-family home that they own on Quincy Street and put up this new development to provide affordable housing for more people.
So we've had unrelated individuals, older women and men coming out of homelessness living in these properties for over 15 to 20 years now. This development is very exciting to us because it is a building with an elevator. It creates more density. It's a more efficient unit, a better unit. Each unit has its own bathroom, which provides a more dignified existence for our residents. We have, as was mentioned, similar properties all across the city, including one we opened just a year and a half ago in Quincy Point that is nearly identical to this one. As was mentioned, there was zero cars there, as you can imagine, coming out of homelessness. That's not necessarily in the cards. So we think we've been a good neighbor on the street for a very long time. We think this is sort of the evolution of the type of housing that we want to see created in the city for this population. And very excited to answer any questions you have about this project. Thank you.
Corley said that services, including financial management, nutrition, and other programs to help residents with daily living would be provided in this new development. There'd also be 12 parking spaces for the project. Ward 4 Councilor James Devine voiced his support for the project. Planning Board will take up the matter again on January 15th. There is a new bookstore in Quincy Center. The Next Chapter Books and More opened recently at 1147 Hancock Street, right across from the former Masonic Temple, which is soon to be Mason's Steakhouse. Quincy Chamber of Commerce says the new bookstore carries a wide range of titles, from new releases to classics, a large children's section, art supplies, greeting cards, and more. Store says it'll be hosting author signings, classes, art shows, and even book clubs. Well, Quincy's own Uncle Sam was recently honored by the Quincy City Council. Last week, Ward 2 City Councilor Richard Ashe presented a special City Council commendation to Uncle Sam Brownsville for his many years of fundraising and support for veterans and their families. Uncle Sam said he and his wife Jean are committed to making Quincy a better place for everyone.
I know that all you people do a lot of work for people also. My wife and I just enjoy making people happy, and when they're happy, we're happy. So that's what our whole life is dedicated to, doing volunteerism and helping charities throughout the. Basically, we do local charities. We try to stay at home. We just raised $9,000 for my 85th birthday party at the Lions at my birthday party. We had 90 people, and I really appreciate it. It was really a wonderful time, and the $9,000 from the Lions Club will help a lot.
Uncle Sam did celebrate his 85th birthday recently. He revealed that although he is now legally blind, he and his wife will continue to support charitable causes in Quincy. Sam legally changed his name to Uncle Sam Brownsville in 1991, saying he wanted to restore dignity and respect to the symbol of America. Retired General Ronald Rand of Quincy participated in yesterday's annual General's Bridge and Park tree lighting ceremony in Quincy Center. Participants decorated the tree with yellow ribbons bearing the names of active duty service members from Quincy to show support from the city. And additional ribbons with the names of Quincy military members can be added throughout the holidays. Just contact Quincy Veteran Services Director Christine Cugini for more information about that. And we'll be chatting with Christine about the upcoming Wreaths Across America program this coming Saturday. That's next. Welcome Welcome back. The Quincy Veterans Services Office has been extremely busy ever since before Veterans Day, and they're not letting up yet because there is another event coming up later on this week that we're going to talk about with Director Christine Cugini, who's back here in studio to bring us up to date on how things have been going. Good to see you again, Christine.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
It really has been a whirlwind, has it not? I mean,
Yeah,
started
it's been nonstop. It's great
before
stuff.
Veterans Day, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
The weekend of, yeah, I mean, we're busy all the time,
Yeah.
but
Well, all right.
busy also outside of the office,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
you know. But really great stuff going on.
It's
so
wonderful that
It is.
there's such great support for veterans in this city.
I would say
the best
we
ever.
are
right?
the best.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's a- you know.
other communities look to Quincy.
They do.
You know, to
Yeah.
kind of model themselves after. So a feather in the hat for you and your
In
staff.
many ways.
For sure. Yeah. As I mentioned during the news, the General's Bridge and Park ceremony just last evening.
Last night it was beautiful.
Yeah.
What a turnout. We had really, I wouldn't even, over 100 people, I would say.
That's great.
Michelle Brooks Thompson sang the national anthem and "O Holy Night," and I think probably put chills. You could see the people in the building, in the apartment building, looking out once they heard
that
her.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she beautiful, strong voice, and she did an amazing job. But you know, the reason we're there is to make sure that our service members are remembered and honored,
Right.
the ones that are currently serving.
Right. And
So-
kind of a correction to what I reported
no
on, right?
correction,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a
yeah. No.
small. So what we did change is the ribbons are color coded basically for the branch of service.
Nice.
So each branch has its own color ribbon. That way, when you look up or look around the tree, you can actually see, you know,
Army, Navy, Marines,
Yes.
Air Force,
Yeah.
Coast Guard.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Space Force, is that?
Yes,
part
we
of it as
kind of
well?
built that in with the Air Force. Though.
Okay. Do you know about how many ribbons were put
I
up
do
on the-
not,
No,
but
okay.
it was well attended.
Yeah, and folks can still participate, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I actually just sent a Facebook thing out to say if they were unable to make it, we have ribbons at the office. They can come by. They can write the name and then go and place it themselves.
okay.
Or they can write the name, leave it, and then we'll place
You'll
it.
put it on the tree.
Whatever they feel comfortable doing.
That's great. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Saturday was Pearl Harbor Day.
Saturday was Pearl Harbor
Yeah.
Day. We had it on board the USS Salem.
Right.
Another well-attended event. Very short, to the point ceremony, but we did do the ceremonial wreath in the water, and that really hits home with a lot of people, you know, that we're able to do that. So with the help of Quincy Police, who will then pick up the wreath because we can't leave it in the water. And then, of course, Braintree, American Legion and their Veteran Council, as well as Quincy Veteran Services and the Quincy Veteran Council, a combined ceremony. So
Sure.
it was very nice.
Yeah.
Very
As-
nice.
I wasn't able to attend this, but I remember I did go last year,
Yes.
and I remember it was a veteran that served on board the Salem that tossed the wreath, wasn't it?
Yes, that was Mr. Lacey,
Yes.
Eugene Lacey from Quincy.
Yeah.
And this year was the family member of Mr. Townsend, who was a plank owner of the USS Salem,
Really?
who I believe passed this past summer.
Okay.
So his family was there in
Nice.
his honor. So it was really nice.
Yeah, it's so appropriate, so fitting, you
It
know, to
is,
have
it
this
is.
World War II era heavy cruiser that was built there
Yes,
to serve
yeah.
as the backdrop for this ceremony.
And it's Margaret LaForest and all the volunteers are so great about just taking care of everybody while we're there.
Yeah.
And they open up the ship and you can walk around, and what an amazing place. And God, all the stuff they have in
It's
there is
amazing.
just great,
Yeah.
you know? Just walking through, you know, it kind of, I don't, good memories, bad memories, but they're memories.
You're a Navy veteran
Yes,
yourself, so, yeah.
I was it's really nice to be on there.
It
you
really
know.
is a time capsule.
It is.
It's kind of like
It
they
is.
just
It's
closed the
beautiful.
doors in the 1940s and walked
It
away.
is.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah, so it's,
It
it's a
really
great
is.
asset for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
As I mentioned during the news, General Rand last night at the tree lighting?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's something that he comes back for every year
Yeah.
because he feels, you know, and shared last night the importance of, you know, not only remembering our, you know, service members after they're gone,
Yes.
but while they're serving.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was, it was great.
Well, there's a statue of him there
yeah,
in the park.
yeah,
He was
and they
there
could
for the
go over
dedication.
and yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was good. It was a good night.
Yeah, that's
you know,
nice.
yeah.
And we're not done yet.
No, never done, never done.
Wreaths Across America,
Yes.
December 14th, so this coming Saturday.
Saturday.
And just a few little statistics from Wreaths Across America,
Okay.
the national group.
Yep.
They were last year. They were able to place just over 3 million
Yes.
veterans wreaths at more than 4,200 participating locations around the country. That has grown this year to more than 4,900 locations
Wow.
across the country that they'll be placing wreaths, all on the same day too, right? That's Wreaths Across America Day.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I think, you know, like here in Quincy, we do the 2 large cemeteries, but we do place wreaths at the smaller cemeteries, and it may not be on that day,
Okay.
but they are placed.
Okay.
And that's just, you know, volunteers, logistics, and to do all of them in one day would
Yes.
be,
A
like we haven't
Herculean.
even gotten our wreaths yet.
Oh,
so,
really? Oh, okay.
yeah, we'll be scrambling this week
Okay.
to get them in and kind of distributed out to the other cemeteries.
I know it's been at least 7 years here in Quincy that this has been going
Yeah,
on.
we our first year
Okay.
was 2018.
2018, okay.
And our first year we started with just Mount Wollaston.
Yes, yeah.
Just to see kind of how the community took to it. And it was huge. And Mayor Koch said, like, let's go for it
Right.
and let's do them all. And we haven't stopped. So every year we hit our goal, and every year, every veteran buried in the city of Quincy, in the cemeteries that we're allowed to include in our participation, will receive a wreath. And that wreath is placed. Their name is said, and they're thanked for their service.
Yes, and as I mentioned, it is a Herculean volunteer effort
It
to
is,
get this
it
done,
is.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We it's great seeing you know, the families and then the sports teams that come as teams.
Really?
And really to get the kids involved. You know, I think I've said it probably every year, but really seeing the kids participate in something like this makes a difference, and I think it'll stay with them. And that's what I hope.
Absolutely, yeah. So how does it all work, Christine?
does it all work?
Logistically, yeah. So where do the wreaths come from? How do they get here, and how do they get to their respective places in the cemeteries?
That's an easy question.
Oh, that's okay.
So they are shipped by volunteer trucking companies
Really?
from Maine.
Okay.
All volunteer. So the two, I'm going to forget the second trucking company's name, but our first one is Shaw's, is a big volunteer trucking company, and they will they get them loaded onto the truck and then brought to us. And then with the cemetery department and I believe DPW and Parks, we kind of all gather that day to then unload and make sure that we're getting the number of wreaths that we are allotted.
Okay.
And so that basically happens twice. So we have a large shipment that gets delivered to Mount Wollaston, and then another large shipment that gets delivered to Pine Hill.
Okay.
And then from those two shipments, we then take from those and distribute to the other smaller cemeteries like Hancock,
Yep.
Cemetery, Snug, Sailors,
All places.
Hall Place, St. Mary's, and Christ Church.
Oh, very good. Okay. How many wreaths are coming?
7,300.
You knew that one right off the
Yes,
top.
7,300.
Okay.
So it'll be 7314 because we do get 2 sets of the ceremonial wreaths.
Okay. And how does a family of a veteran know that a wreath is being placed on their loved one's
So
grave?
we put out, well, this is going on for quite a while,
Sure.
so
Yep.
hopefully they know that it's going to happen. You can go on to Wreaths Across America website.
Mm-hmm.
That'll share, the time of the ceremony. If they're sponsoring a wreath to do a grave-specific wreath, they have the option of choosing to place that wreath themselves or have a volunteer place it.
Okay.
So I have a list of 32 with, I believe, about 15 of those 32 that they've chosen to place that wreath themselves.
Okay.
So what I'll do this week, and this is new, is go out and put a purple flag on that grave so that a volunteer knows that they're not to place the wreath there, that the family is coming by to do that.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
So logistically, how does this happen on Saturday? What will be happening?
So Saturday, volunteers will show up to Pine Hill. Starts at 10:30.
Okay.
And that's a shorter, brief ceremony. Ray T-Burge of the Scouts is very involved, and he kind of runs it over at Pine Hills. But that starts at 10:30 a.m.
Okay.
Short ceremony with wreath laying to follow. And then our full ceremony is at Mount Wollaston. That starts at noon with wreath laying to follow. The ceremony is roughly about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay. And what does the ceremony entail, Christine?
So what we do is recognize each branch of service. We kind of explain what this day is about, what it means, and why we do it. And then we recognize the branches of service and kind of explain what they're about to do and why.
So is there like a guest speaker at each event, or is it just?
So this year we're going to do something different,
Yeah.
and what we're going to do is really get into why we're doing what we're doing, and minus the guest speaker piece. Sometimes it's hard to really capture what Wreaths Across America is. So I felt this year kind of like a refresher as to why we do this.
Yeah. So, well, the statement from the organization is, the mission statement is to, quote, remember, honor, and teach.
Yes.
Pretty simple, straightforward,
It is,
right?
yes.
But it means something different, I think, to every individual and every
I
family.
believe it does,
Right.
because, as much as the remember and honor, I've focused on the teaching.
Right.
And it's important that we really get the kids involved and hope. And again, I hope it stays with them. I hope they continue to do, even as they move on. You said yourself, there's 4,900, and that's across the states. So even if you don't live in Massachusetts or live in Quincy, you can
find a
also
spot.
find a spot to go to.
Absolutely, yeah. How many volunteers do you have signed up
We,
right now?
I don't even ask them to sign up.
Yeah.
We do have, I would say, over 100 signed up.
Okay.
But ultimately, just show up.
Just
and
show
we
up.
generally have, I would say, 500 or 600.
Is that right?
Yes,
Wow.
we are done in probably an hour and 15 minutes.
That's incredible.
Incredible.
Over 7,300 wreaths in just over an hour. Incredible. The weather looks great right now. It'd be a
I
little
know.
chilly, but
It's okay.
But it looks okay.
Yeah, we've had some
You've had some
bumps.
Yeah, weather bumps for sure. Yes.
Bad snowfall one year
yeah.
that delayed, but ultimately the wreaths were placed, and rain a few years.
Yep.
But,
It all
you know,
it worked
a
out,
service
though.
member, we show up regardless of the weather.
Exactly,
So our
yeah.
volunteers in Quincy do as well.
Yeah, it is it's a nonprofit organization. That's how the wreaths are paid for.
Yeah.
How the transportation is donated.
Exactly.
It's all through this fundraising efforts. Yeah.
It really is, and we couldn't do it without the community. Like, it would be impossible. Not only the volunteers, but the businesses that donate, the people that just want to have this continue. And I can't say thank you enough to Quincy as a community that show up, that sponsor, that give of their time. It's important, and as a veteran myself, I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Do you need volunteers?
Always.
Okay.
Always volunteers. Always.
Reach out anytime.
Yes.
And then, do they get picked up at the end of the season? Or how-
We do.
You
We pick them
Yeah.
up. I usually look at this calendar.
Yeah.
It's usually the first or second week in February.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we don't want them out there too long, but it's heartbreaking when we have to take them in because it just looks so
Desolate.
bare.
I
yeah.
know. Yeah. That's February in New England.
I know.
Great to see you as always, Christine.
Thank you so much for having me.
Always a
And
pleasure.
thank you, Quincy, for supporting.
And thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Take a look at the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. Enjoy the sunshine because it's going away. There's rain moving in this afternoon through this evening. Pretty mild today with highs in the mid to upper 40s. Tomorrow's just a gray day with showers moving in probably by tomorrow night at a high around 40 degrees. Wednesday is the stormy one. We've got wind, we've got rain, we've got some thunderstorms possible, but 62 degrees, so there's that. And then clearing out on Thursday with highs in the lower 40s. Thanks again to Christine Cugini for joining us here on the program.
Thank you.
Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Friday here in the show, the car doctor, John Paul from AAA, will be joining us with some winter car care tips. Meantime, check our website, qatv.org. All of our latest programs are there. News, information, video on demand, live streaming, and more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.